Welcome to the Muscles and Mindset Revolution podcast, the podcast for ambitious women who want to build strength, feel confident AF, and lose fat for good without counting calories or BS quick fixes. I'm your host, Ann Jones, certified life coach, personal trainer, and mindset expert. And after 15 plus years in the fitness industry, I know that the real key to lasting change isn't just what you do, it's how you think. So if you're ready to shift your mindset, build a lifestyle you love, and feel confident AF, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. Today's episode is for every woman who's ever said, I want to feel better, I want to get strong, I want to lose weight, but I just don't have the time. I hear you. I've had hundreds of clients just like you. And I coach hundreds of women who still feel like they have to choose between two extremes. A program that asks for everything or just doing nothing at all. In this episode, I want to show you what I've built instead. A third option. One that fits your real life. The time you actually have, the life you're actually living, but will still require you to change. Because if you want a different result, you have to do things different. And here's the thing, that change, it has to be enough to actually work, but not so much that it breaks your life. This is where most programs go wrong. They either ask for way too much, hours of prep, constant tracking, long workouts, intense gym visits, cold showers, or they don't actually do anything. They're too soft, too vague. They don't require any personality, personalization, customization, coaching accountability. They're just another version of just wait until life calms down, right? Too passive. Like that, an example of that would be like a cookie cutter fitness plan that you download or buy or whatever, or just doing nothing at all. And waiting till life slows down. And here's what I want to say. That wait is costing you. It's not free. Either you're in a program that demands so much that it can't last and the result fades when life gets lifey. This is what happens with diets and fad diets and really intense programs, Weight Watchers, anything that requires a lot of intensity, or you're just in no program at all. You're following nothing, inaction, overwhelm, delay, or just randomness. And while you're doing nothing, it's not costing you. Your symptoms are compounding, particularly after our late 30s, to be frank. And so my thing is like, let's find the sweet spot. Enough stimulus to change your body, enough stimulus to start to change your mind, your thoughts, and your life, but not so much that you can't maintain it long term. If you want to experience change, you're going to have to change something, right? Okay, so here are the two extremes and why neither works. I see two camps that women fall into most commonly, right? All or nothing. The all camp, these are the programs that will get results if you can give them your entire life, if you can keep up for your entire life. Meal plans that take 4 hours of prep, workouts that take 75 minutes a day, 5-6 days a week, macro tracking down to the gram with a scale every day for the rest of your life. They're intense and they can work, but most, if not all people, cannot maintain them long term. So the results, they vanish, or you may be able to do it for a few weeks or a few months, but then generally people fall into the nothing camp. And I don't just mean doing absolutely nothing, although sometimes certainly that is the case. I mean doing something that's not enough to move the needle, like signing up for something too soft, too vague, too unstructured, or more often than not, just waiting, right? Saying, I'm too busy, I can't do this right now, on repeat, believing that you'll start when life calms down, which it never does, and nothing changes. So what actually does work? The solution, and I mean, this is obviously why I've created this, is because I know that it works. This is what feels good to me, what works for me and my clients, is what I've built inside Muscles and Mindset. It's the middle ground. It's the real life, like a realistic, flexible approach that fits into your actual life and still delivers real results. So here's the part that I really want you to hear. Whatever you do to change your body, to change your life, must be enough stimulus. It must be enough stimulus to create change in your body, your habits, your mindset, your routines. It must also be sustainable enough to fit into the life that you have now. You're probably, if you like your job, but if you have this job, like this is your career, you're probably going to have it for a while. If you have these kids, you got this partner, like unless something else big is changing, you're probably going to have them for a while. This is going to be your life for years. What you do must be sustainable enough to fit into that life. And here's the deal. It will still require change. If you want to feel different, if you want to feel calmer, leaner, stronger, more confident, you will have to do things different. It's not going to work if you're only doing things that are nice, fun, or convenient, but not enough to cause change. Like I've had women ask, what if I just do, can I just do like 10 squats like at my desk? It's like, cool. Like that's great for like your circulation, adding a little bit of like movement to your day, improve your focus. But if your goal is really to lose 10 or 20 pounds and change your body composition permanently, that is not enough stimulus. Just as if you were going to the gym, doing the same workout for months and years and not lifting heavy enough, it's not going to be enough stimulus. So I'm never going to sell you fluff. I'm not here to make you feel good and send you on your way with nothing to show for it. I want to give you tools that actually work. And that means that you will have to do more of some things, less of other things, and put in effort. But the key is that the effort has to fit into your life. So what does fitting into your life actually mean? Let me give you some real examples. My clients are mostly moms, most of them work, business owners, teachers, professors, shift workers, police officers, caregivers, other coaches, nurses, fitness instructors, massage therapists. They have kids, they have pets, they have partners, they have aging parents, and they still find a way. Not because it's easy, but because they stopped believing that they had no time and chose to start creating it. And this is not everyone has the same 24 hours in the day conversation. We're going to get to that because that is absolutely not true. You have to have the belief that you can create time, or you have to be willing to use what you've got instead of doing nothing at all. So here's what we don't do. We don't do 75-minute workouts 5 days a week. We don't do 4-hour meal preps. We don't do cold plunges at 4 a.m. We do not do macros tracked forever, if at all, or daily weigh-in. That is not fitness fitting into your life. That's making your life revolve around fitness and nutrition, and that is not the vibe for me personally. What is the vibe? 30 to 45-minute workouts, 3 to 4 times a week. That's what I do. So most of my clients do. A few staple meals you know how to cook because yes, you will have to cook food to feed your body, but you can repeat them and you can rotate them. If you might have to get used to eating the same things over and over again. There's a great mindset shift for you. What else is the vibe? Quick check-ins to build accountability and self-awareness. We are, as humans, when something is new to us, we require external accountability before we can use internal accountability. Every day I get on a consult call and she says like, I should be able to. I should be able to do this on my own. I wish I could. I should be able to hold myself accountable. Why? Why should you? That is literally why coaching exists. Nobody does this on their own. And whether it's me or, I would not advise your best friend or your partner to be your accountability buddy, but some accountability is required. So you showing up to be held accountable is going to be required. Self-awareness is going to be required. And you are going to have to move your body in a way that feels empowering, not punishing. Now, I also want to be honest about what I don't think is realistic. A 75 or 90-minute workout 5 or 6 days a week, not for most of my clients, not for me. Could I? Yeah. Would that work for my family, my career, keeping up with my business long term? No. 4 hours of meal prep, maybe once a month, but no, not realistic. Tracking every macro for the rest of my life? No, thank you. That's not fitting into your life. That's not fitting fitness and nutrition into your lifestyle. That's asking for your whole life to revolve around fitness. And for most of us, that is just not enjoyable or sustainable. On the flip side, change won't happen with too little effort either. You can't expect a full transformation with 2 minutes of effort and zero support. You need the sweet spot. Enough stimulus, realistic structure, and support so that you don't quit the moment things get hard. So here's the real barrier though. We think it's time, but here's where things get real because it's not about time. It's not about workouts. It's not about food. It is about your mindset. It is about your thoughts. I have coached dozens of women who are single moms. I have coached dozens of women with multiple jobs, women who have sold things on consignment, gotten another part-time job to invest in their coaching, women who have gotten creative to recruit childcare help, rearrange schedules, talk to their partner, done workouts at 9 p.m. in their living room. Is that ideal? Probably not. But they questioned their beliefs. And they wanted to feel a certain kind of way. They wanted to feel something and experiencing something in their body and role model that for their friends, their family, their kids. Then they needed it to be perfect and ideal. And they had to question their beliefs that were like, I'm too busy. I can't make this work right now. I don't have the discipline. I don't have the time. It's a bad time. All of these thoughts feel true. Beliefs are just thoughts that you have thought so many times that you think they are true. It does not mean that they are true. They are just thoughts. And that is why mindset work is such a massive part of what I do. Because if you do not believe it's possible, you will keep proving that belief right. Here's what I've seen over and over again. Most of the time, it's not time holding you back. It's the belief that you don't get to prioritize yourself, that someone else's needs come before yours, that your kids, your job, your to-do list are more important. Everything has to be done before you get to work out. Everyone has to be taken care of before you get to work out. Everyone else's needs and being fed have to be addressed first. There has to be some magical, mythical moment when the stars align, and then you'll start. Then you'll have time. But that moment doesn't come. If you want something different, you have to believe that you are allowed to change, that you deserve change, that your needs matter, that you get to be on the to-do list, that it is okay to ask for help, and yes, disappoint people. Yes, that is part of it. And this is exactly why we do mindset work inside Muscles and Mindset. Because if you don't clean up the beliefs that built your current reality, nothing changes. I've been a personal trainer for 15 years. I've coached virtually online for 7 years. And just in the past couple of years, I really came to terms with this truth. Obviously, we know that whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, you're right. But I really have learned this in coaching. And I see this now. For example, if I've had a new client on a consult who is highly skeptical, I get why people are skeptical. You should be skeptical. The fitness and diet industry has sold you a lot of bullshit. You should be skeptical. Fair enough. And if you already decided that you're not going to like X, Y, and Z, or X, Y, and Z is not going to work for you, it won't. It won't. If you don't believe that working virtually online will move the dial for you, it will not, because you will show up in such a way that it will not work. You've already decided. If you've already decided you don't want to do your workouts on an app that's not going to work for you, it will not. If you've already decided that now I've seen it happen enough times that this is a red flag to me, you're not ready. And I've learned with love to just say, I'm not for you, to that person, which as a reformed people pleaser was hard initially. But what was the result? That person who was already committed to their failure came in, and I was so committed that, I was like some sort of like young girlfriend, like, I'm going to change him. I'm going to change the bad boy. I'm going to turn him around. You can't, unless that person is coming in with an open mind, they will remain committed to it. And that has been true every single time. If you don't believe it's possible, if you believe it's not for you or you're not going to like it, you are going to prove that belief right. Now I want to talk about capacity and seasons, and I want to be really honest about it. There are seasons where you genuinely may not have the capacity to push. So we just talked about most people, most of the time, have the capacity to learn, change, think, and do things differently, get creative so that they can make this work. They can fit this into their life. That's like 99% of people. Okay, that's 99% of my clients, 99% of the time. And there are seasons where you genuinely may not have the capacity to push, and that's okay. You can still maintain. You can still walk. You can still drink water. You can still eat balanced meals. You can still get rest. You can still take care of yourself without going all in. But if you are already maxed out, and then you're like literally already maxed out, your calendar, your body capacity, you are maxed out. But as a high achiever, you're like, more. I need more. Cool. Do you have the capacity for that right now? Do you have the capacity to add 30% to what we're doing right now? Maybe. Cool. Like legitimately in your life right now, can you maintain your 8 hours of quality sleep? Can we increase your workout duration slightly and frequency and intensity? And do we have time for some nutrition auditing? Maybe. Great. But if no, you need to come to terms with like, this might just have to be good enough right now. And this is not my people who are not trying and not willing to change. This is my people who are trying and are willing to change and have to cut themselves some slack in the seasons when they literally do not have more to give. Because if you're trying to accelerate fat loss or see major change, you need enough space in your life to support it, right? And most people have that most of the time. And some people don't have that some of the time. It's not about doing more. It's about clearing space for what matters. Here's the nuance that I don't hear enough coaches talk about. Sometimes you genuinely don't have the capacity to go full throttle, particularly if you are in this to win this long term, like your whole life. There are going to be seasons where it is not appropriate or a priority, like your fitness and nutrition is not the utmost priority, to be honest. Like I'm talking about women who are acutely grieving, just had a baby in the past 6 weeks, juggling 6 kids and are like building a house themselves. That's not most people all of the time, right? You have to look at the season you're in. And if your current season doesn't support a full body recomposition goal, that's okay. Your work is going to be to make peace with that and do what is of the highest priority to you in that season of life. Maybe right now your job is to maintain where you're at. For most women I work with after the age of 35 and 40, if they would do the work to stop gaining weight, they would be light years ahead of where they were if they just kept going on the trajectory they were on. It might just be eating a real meal, sleeping for more than 6 hours, doing a walk, doing 2 workouts. Those things still count. But be honest about what you're asking of yourself in this season. Do not shame yourself for not being able to do everything, but don't pretend you're doing everything either. So what do you actually need? What do you actually need to change your body and your life? Here's some things that you need. A plan that fits your life, a realistic level of effort that you can sustain long term. And this, we're going to talk about this on the next podcast episode, is how I like to approach fitness and workouts as a practice, not a journey. You will also need a willingness to shift your beliefs, support, a structure, and accountability. You will need enough stimulus to make a change still, not fluff. And that's what we do in Muscles and Mindset, right? It's not extreme and it's not easy. It's real and it works forever. This is why I don't believe in one size fits all protocols. This is why I built Muscles and Mindset with flexibility and accountability, because real life does not slow down. And yet, you still deserve to feel strong, to feel grounded, capable, and calm in your body. You don't have to earn your right to start. You just have to be willing to take one step, and we'll help you take the next one. So if you are nodding along to this and thinking, yes, this is exactly what I've needed, I want to invite you to apply to come and work with us. Whether you are ready for a full transformation, one-on-one coaching, or you just want to dip your toes in, talk about it, there's a way that we can support you, even if it's just continuing to listen to this podcast. DM me on Instagram or check the show notes on the podcast to apply. This is your permission slip to stop waiting for the perfect time and start creating a different one.